It has been a wild end to June as we head into the Independence Day extended holiday weekend. A derecho rolled across the Midwest yesterday, knocking out power to more than 250,000 customers, while wind gusts as high as 80 miles an hour caused crop damage and knocked down numerous trees. Other storms this week produced tornadoes, and in one storm, lightning struck a plane. I'm weather and radar meteorologist James West with this holiday weekend preview. The beaches, lakes, and pools will be full of people this weekend as hot weather spreads across the U.S. Highs will be in the 90s to near 100 throughout large stretches of the West Coast and across the southern tier from Texas to the southeast. You'll need to keep an eye on storms, though. Afternoon storm threat lingers across the western high plains and Ohio Valley. Scattered storms are possible in the southeast. Sunday will be similar to Saturday. Hot weather will be found throughout the west, eastern Texas, lower Mississippi Valley, and southeast. A weak cold front will kick up some Sunday storms from the Ohio Valley into the northeast. Afternoon storms will also pop up across the Rockies and southeast. Looking ahead to Monday and the 4th of July, a stormy Monday is likely across the East Coast and western high plains, while the west stays extremely hot. For the 4th of July, smooth sailing for popular fireworks shows in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Houston, Dallas, and San Diego. Nature's fireworks will be possible in the Midwest and the plains. It will be seasonally hot throughout the U.S., though. Weather and radar meteorologists will be providing updates throughout the holiday weekend, so be sure to check the Weather and Radar app for all of your weather needs this weekend.